Welcome back to the Forgotten Horror Podcast, and this is a special Christmas episode with me and my horror hombre, Carlos Eastwood for Life fan. Carlos, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. I'm coming with Christmas spirit.
Oh yes, you dressed for the part.
Yeah, just need the beard to grow now.
Yeah. I keep growing mine out. So, first of all, we apologise for if the sound quality is a bit awkward because me and Carlos have tried to fix it. I don't know what it is. We've been tinkering around for an hour or so, but if we just apologise because we can't really fix it. I don't know what's going on. The powers that be are stopping us from having a clear sound. So, but anyway, what are we doing tonight, Carlos?
Well, we've got more horror movie memories, and tonight we've got the 1980 Lewis Jackson horror psychological drama slasher movie, Christmas Evil.
Christmas Evil. Wow. That's a nice addition, that, Carlos. And for people who don't know, it was probably the only Christmas title that was banned. It was on Section 3 of the Video Nasty list.
Yeah, I only just found that out recently because, obviously, I actually watched this movie a lot later because I did not watch this movie in the horror sort of Video Nasty video store days. You did, Davey, so obviously the memories are going to come quite a bit from you. It's only because of the 88 films when they put this release out. I know it was released in America, I think Vinegar Syndrome, and it was always a title that always grabbed me. And I don't normally buy a lot of kind of blind buys. This was a kind of like a blind buy, but I did enjoy it when I first purchased it.
Yeah, what a cracker of a film. I mean, we picked this one, didn't we, Carlos? Because we see a lot of Black Christmas and the other popular Christmas slashers, Silent Night, Deadly Night,
Deadly
and all
Night.
there's always those going around, but few people have talked about Christmas Evil of recent. And when we thought of with it being the festive period, we thought let's just do something a little bit left field, something that's got that Christmas flavour, but it's not as well. It's a bit of an unsung hero, isn't it? Now, you mentioned the 88 films version that you've got there. Well, I was watching it on Prime, and it's the Vinegar Syndrome. It's ripped from the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, and I must say it's been cleaned up pretty well, Carlos.
Yeah. I think Vinegar Syndrome owned it, and then I think or Synapse, one of them owned it. It went to the other American label.
Yeah.
This 88 films release. It's a really cleaned up version. I mean, you can see the movie on YouTube for free, but this was really nicely cleaned up. I was surprised out because it's quite a sort of real grey kind of
cover.
Yeah.
That's the original VHS cover right there, Carlos.
So obviously, like I said, I don't remember watching this in the VHS days because when you said it was available back then, obviously I know it was a Video Nasty. I don't recall seeing this in my independent video store. Whether they had it or not, I don't know. But if it was in that store, obviously with that cover, that would have grabbed my attention without question.
Definitely. Yeah, that cover out my independent video. We had 2 independent video shops. One of them never had it in, but the other one did. So it was sort of like there was titles that we missed. Now, they didn't have all the Video Nasties in, because I never saw all the Video Nasties back then. I'd like to say I did, but I didn't because I was only 10. And I only watched what my sister and her boyfriends and her friends brought, and I saw enough of them, because and I went out and bought some off the flea market like the weekend with my paper round money. But Christmas Evil, one of them did have it in, and that was the cover. And as you say, back then, Carlos, there was nothing, there was no advertisement or nothing. I walked in, and you saw the Santa sleeve with the Christmas, the costume of Christmas, wasn't it? And he's holding a knife, and straight away your eye went, "Whoa, what's that? What is that?" And my sister said, "Oh, Christmas Evil," and she said, "Oh, well, I'll pick that up. We'll watch that over the weekend." And I thought, yeah, and she did, and and this was before it got put on Section 3, obviously, so it was like 81, 80, maybe 82, a year or so before all that the list come out. I remember thinking to myself, this was like a nice film. I thought it was like okay, you could sort of get behind it, and then watching it decades later, when you've seen all the other Christmas slashers that have come along, all the more popular, Black Christmas and all, and you get all the modern ones now coming in, Silent Night and all those sort of things coming in. You go back to these classics, Carlos, and you think, yeah, these are easy watches. These are quite comical in places. The acting is not the best, but there's heart. There's heart in this film, isn't there? There's a lot of heart. And like I said, Lewis Jackson pulled off quite a nice little gem here, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think this movie has got quite a cult following with a lot of sort of. I mean, people have it as a slasher movie, psychological horror, whatever you want to call it, slasher. I mean, obviously, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Black Christmas, they're 100% slasher.
Yeah, they're the
movies.
mainstream, aren't you? They're the ones that a lot of people talk about. Yeah.
This one, I have this kind of more like a character piece, because obviously the Harry character played by Brandon McGart.
Yeah.
I thought he'd done really, really well. I mean, he's an actor that I don't think I've seen a lot of. I mean, I actually had to Google him to see what, I don't think I've seen this guy in anything. And I think he was mainly a TV actor after this movie in the 80s and I think 90s. And then he actually became an author, and he kind of went into painting. I think the only other movie he'd been in was Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill. I badly need to rewatch that. But
I remember it.
I thought the part in this movie, I thought he really made it his own, because there's kind of parts in the movie where you kind of sympathise with him, and then at the same time, he's downright creepy where he's spying on the kids on the rooftop. That becomes quite awkward.
There's a theme there, isn't it? Because it's hitting on mental health. Because his younger brother in this, he's like his carer, isn't he? His younger brother, unwantingly and unknowingly, he's become sort of his carer, because there's a scene where he's saying, I've been watching out for his mistakes all his life, you know what I mean? And he's like, I wanted someone to look up to. I wanted a big brother to be proud of, so there is, I mean, it comes back from his trauma from seeing the opening scenes when the kids aren't there. And I mean, in today's standards, it's nothing. Well, I'll tell you something, all this Santa and all that sort of thing is quite pervy, isn't it? Because there's been a few films where there's a bit of sleaze going on in these films, like Don't Open Till Christmas and that sort of stuff. And Silent Night, Deadly Night had the trauma of the Santa Claus doing bad things. So this one, we get the two kids and the mum sat on the banister. Santa comes down the chimney. I thought, what brave man coming down a chimney. He landed there, and he gets his milk and cookies, and he's putting the presents under the tree. Now that was our childhood, wasn't it, Carlos?
Yeah,
That's what me and you, we grew up believing that. And you left your milk and cookies and a carrot out for Rudolph or whatever, and it was that magical spirit. And then what happens is he goes to bed. Harry hears something, creeps back down, and he's peering through the banister, and he sees his mum in the suspenders and the Santa Claus on his knees, groping her and giving her, you know what I mean? And then that shatters his illusion, doesn't it? Because he's like,
absolutely, yeah.
And his dreams are ruined. And from
He's
then
scarred.
on, he smashes the snow globe and he cuts his hand and it fast forwards and he's an employee in the Jolly Dream toy factory, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, mate. And to say he's got an obsession with Father Christmas and Christmas, he takes it to an whole different level, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But like you were saying, this guy plays it really cool.
He does.
He's so believable. He's likable. He's really likable because his colleagues are taking the piss out of him. You know, they think he's a bit of a whatever. But he really cares about the kids and he really cares about Christmas. So at the heart of it, he's got a good heart, hasn't he? He's trying to keep the spirit of Father Christmas alive because he truly believes that he's the next he is Father Christmas, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the obsession of Christmas, it does go a little bit too far. I like the fact that he keeps it hidden because it's not really out there. It's normally at his own sort of his own home. He's got all the pictures on the wall. He's taken notes on the kids in the neighbourhood, who's been good and who's been bad. He's got the good book. He's got the bad book.
But he says it though. He walks down the street, doesn't he? And he's saying to them, the kids know him, so he's not like a creep in that way.
Yeah,
he's like, "Hi kids, have you been good? Yes, Harry, we've been great, and we've been saying this." And he's like, "Oh," and you can see how jovial the guy is, and you think he's actually a sweetheart of a guy. All the kids know him, and he's not a perv or a creep in that way.
Yeah.
But when he's got the binoculars out and he's looking at seeing what the kids are doing, he's noting it all in his book, which could be perceived today as really, really creepy and really going too far. Well, in that much simpler time, though, Carlos, that was quite an age of innocence, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's an awkward watch. I mean, when he's watching the kids, I mean, I was kind of thinking, obviously, they build his character up a little bit. I say 2/3 of the movie, it's a bit of a character piece because you think, he's a real nice guy. You sort of think, well, what's going to happen? I mean, this is labelled as a horror movie, especially. This is me thinking as I was watching the movie for the first time. I was thinking, well, he's a likable guy. Does he suddenly turn? Obviously, when he starts getting the Mickey and the piss taken out of him a little bit by his co-workers because he's a little bit good-natured. I think when he really does start to turn is when he finally gets the beard and he glues it on. And that's when he really starts to turn a little bit and he starts talking to himself in the mirror. And this is where it kind of shifts a little bit, and
you're right. The tone changes, doesn't it? I think there's that scene, was it, where he looks at the naughty kid, that Garcia lad, and he puts dirt on his face, and he goes over, and you could tell we were in 1980 because the mother slaps him across the face for being. I thought, wow. I mean, you look at that now. I mean, slapping a child across the face, it's like, whoa. But that was 1980, and I laughed, and I said to Jilly, I said, you can tell we're in 1980 now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, any sort of chic, you'd get a belt, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah.
No two ways about it. So, he's also creeping around the bushes.
Yeah.
Looking at the naughty kid because he's got a bit of a infatuation with this naughty kid, so he's like, but like you say, the tone shifts then, doesn't it? He glues the beard on and he can't get it off, and he starts laughing and he's loving it, and you think, that's gone a bit. Now he's gone a bit.
Yeah. Even the van, he makes the van. It's kind of like his sledge. Doesn't he? He starts to really think he is like a second coming of Santa Claus when he starts to believe it, doesn't he? Because he's
Couldn't
going
believe
into
it.
work, looking at himself in the mirror, and he's winking at himself. You can see that he's got another side to him, and
Yeah.
obviously he's buying the outfits and he's getting ready. Something's building up, and this is a very disturbed man character for sure.
Do you know? Do you know I like the portrayal of his brother, because when you see his brother on screen, you feel his anxiety. He knows that something's going
up.
on, and
Yeah.
he's like, and his wife's like, "Oh no, you're too
hard on him.
You're too hard on him. You know what he's like. He's just a big softy." And he's like, "Oh no, there's something bad's up," because he cancels Thanksgiving. He cancels the dinner, doesn't he, with the family? And he's like, "What?" He goes, "They're all going to dance to my tune now. They're all going to hear my tune, and I'm not." And that's it. It's like, "Oh, here we go." And he goes out, doesn't he? And he gets he robs toys from the factory, doesn't he? And then he fills bag of dirt, still fills some bags with dirt
for the bad kids.
And he's completely off it. And he gets in that van and he's like pretending the reindeers. He's come on, Gasser, come on. And he's driving an old knackered van. And I just sat there thinking, where's this gonna go? So there's a couple of good deeds done. I mean, he goes to the children's hospital, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he donates. He sees the security guard and he's dressed as Santa. And he goes and he delivers all the kids presents, which I thought, see, again, it's a wonderful moment in the film where he's doing good for these sick kids and underprivileged kids. And I'm like, what? Yeah, this is, but again, there's that creepy side.
Yeah.
When's that going to come out? And I think it's on the church steps, isn't it? He pulls up.
I think it was a bit before. I think he goes to the hospital. He gives the presents to the kids. I thought for a split second he might get awkward and kill the aging security guard.
Yeah.
Then he gets pulled into a bar and he does a bit of dancing. And the people in the bar, they welcome him as Santa. They have a bit of a laugh with him. And then he puts out a little message to the kids. And if you're really, really bad, I'll be giving you something that you might not sort of like. That's where
I'll bring you something horrible.
It goes all silent.
Yeah.
And then he laughs out loud. So there was like a little twist to that.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to really take him. Like I say, he plays a believable character. He does it well because when he's good and he's sincere, you believe it. But then when he becomes a little bit twisted and disturbed, you also believe it. So that's the mark of a good actor, to play both parts convincingly.
Yeah, he did an amazing with the role, because he carries the whole film, doesn't it? It's about him selling the good side and selling the lonely side and selling the psycho side. He sells all three sides, doesn't he? I mean, his brother, the actor that plays his brother, you really feel it when he's on screen. You know that he's like, you can see he's riddled with anxiety, and he knows. I think he's like, he knows something's going to happen. Something's wrong. He's gone, and after that telephone call, well, then he turns up at I think the first act is the people outside the church. He's got a toy soldier or something, and he's got an axe. And they are goading him a little bit. I must admit, they are goading him, and he just snaps, doesn't he? And next thing, he's axing someone and stabs.
I think it was a toy with a sword. It was like with a pointed sword.
It was a soldier, wasn't it? He made the soldiers. But did you notice his living room? His living room had all sorts of creepy things. I mean, it's something like what me and Gillian pick up at the horror Christmas market. You know, this sort of shit.
Oh, right, yeah.
He had a hanging bear, and it was like there was something not quite right. It was like just quite off in his living room, and it's like, oh, he's a bit twisted. But he kills them people, doesn't he? And 2 or 3 people he cuts up there nasty. So, I mean, for 1980, they're quite horrific scenes as well. So
they're quite brutal, yeah, with that little hatchet, that little axe thing that he's got. Yeah, I mean, he left him in the right little pile, in the right little heap. I enjoyed the way he kind of ran off. He'd done a lot of running in the movie, and the way he was running kind of had a very sort of cartoon-like sort of run, where you try not to laugh, but after those horrific kills. But
because it was very comedic, wasn't it? Because it was like like Oliver Hardy, and then he'd take off running, wouldn't he? And you think he just acts people up, and you're laughing with him, and you want him to get away.
Yeah.
You wanted him to get away, so he escapes out of that, doesn't he? And then it just goes downhill from there, doesn't it? Really, because the brother's watching the news.
Yeah,
and I must admit that news reporter looks like a serial killer himself. He's just stood there going up, and I thought that's a creepy dude.
Yeah.
And he's almost jealous that he didn't do the killings on the steps. He looks a very shady reporter, that fella did, on the news.
I mean, you can see the movie. It's got quite a limited budget. Obviously, I mean, this is a horror B movie, without a doubt. But that didn't dampen my enjoyment to the movie, because I like the concept and the idea behind this. I mean, I've heard people call this like a Christmas version of Taxi Driver. Again, it's like a character piece of someone's character. But you can see, this character, there's 2 sides to him, and you can see it unravel that he's not quite, he's a very disturbed man. Obviously, like you said, his brother has always been kind of watchful over him. I think the actor, he was in
I've
The Mist.
Seen him before.
He was in The Mist.
He
was in The Mist. I forgot his name now.
He was
He was the argumentative one in the supermarket.
That's the guy, because I said to Justin, I know him. The brother, the younger brother, he's a brilliant actor. I've seen him in other things. The Mist, I remember him now from the supermarket. I thought he was up there with the guy. I thought he was
good.
His performance, he sold that really, really well as an anxiety concerned brother. And then when he turns up, doesn't he? He turns up, doesn't he? And he's like, he turns up, and he goes into the he kills one of his work colleagues who took the piss, didn't he?
Yeah.
He can't get down the chimney, which is quite comical. But then he gets through a door. I mean, it's 1980. Nobody locked the doors, did they? So he goes in, and like they're lying in bed, and he's standing there. And the guy sort of wakes up and goes, "Howdy?" He goes, "Oh, Merry Christmas, Al." And he jumps on him, smothers him with the bag. And the wife's sleeping next to him, tossing and turning why he's being smothered. And then as he sort of gets out, I think he gets a star and slashes his throat.
Yeah, and then Christmas star on the top, wasn't it? Yeah.
And he falls onto the wife, who wakes up and can't scream because he's slashed, and then he runs out, and the kids are smiling. He starts smiling and waving at the kids.
That was creepy.
This guy's
creepy.
Yeah. He jumps in his van and goes off to the next bit.
I love the way he spends a lot of the time running in this movie, because I try not to laugh, but it's quite comical the way they do it. But especially in the Santa's outfit, because the Santa's outfit, you can see it's one of those very high quality Santa's outfits that, from like that you see on these Christmas cards, pictures of Father Christmas. He looks just like that.
Yeah,
because when
he got it down, hasn't he? He's got the look down, hasn't he?
Because I think when the police are actually, they put this out in the news that don't trust anybody who looks like a Santa Claus, and they arrest 5 guys and they get them in the lineup. And when they got these 5 Santa Clauses, they're in these real cheap Santa's outfit. I mean, they look nothing like what Harry was wearing, because he was cutting fur off fur coats and putting it on his hat. He went to town with his Santa's outfit. He went for the high quality.
Yeah. And that's funny when they just got the old man, and they took me away from the children. It's like an old frail man, and they're just saying, "Say Merry Christmas." The lineup was quite hilarious, wasn't it?
Do you know what?
The police,
I was actually surprised. For the amount of times that he said "Merry Christmas," not once did he actually say "Ho ho ho," and I thought that would have added to it. He never said "Ho ho ho." I mean, he does a lot of laughing. He does a lot of "Merry Christmas" and little powerful messages to the kids, but we never got a "Ho ho ho." I thought that would have worked really, really well. I love the Santa's van. I thought that was comical when he was driving in that van, and he was imagining that he was like whipping, the reindeers on like a sledge, on a sleigh sort of thing. And I thought that was quite funny. That was quite funny.
I mean, it also harks back to the Universal Horror Days with the lynch mob after the altercation in the alleyway with the parents, and the kids are defending him. Which again, you think, my God, the kids see him as Father Christmas, and he's believing, and he's acting the role of the good guy, and the dad's like a bit overbearing, but he's like coming towards him with a knife. And that's a touch and go scene, and I think, oh. So anyway, he does the comical run. He gives the kids the presents and gets off again, and then the torches are lit, and it's like Frankenstein, isn't it? It's like they're going after Frankenstein monster. Gotta be. That had to have been a homage to the Universal Days. Counts.
As soon as I saw that, I mean, obviously, in preparation for this, I picked up on that. I mean, with any movie that you watch, the more times you watch a movie, you pick up on more things. And it's the third time I've watched this, and it took me probably the third time to watch that. There was a little homage to the Frankenstein movies, with like the village, the lynch mob chasing after, looking for Frankenstein. That's what it reminded me of with the old torches.
There's a scene where he's doing the run, and it's a wide shot, and all the villagers, you just see the torches behind chasing. And that was. I remember seeing the original trailer. Many years ago on another VHS, and it's like, he is coming, Santa Claus, and it showed you running, and it showed you the guys with the torches behind, and I thought, oh, they look like they're going to mug, because you don't know the story at that point. They look like they're going to mug Santa, and you realise, I thought, wow, I thought, what a scene that was. That was a good scene where they were chasing him, and then he jumps into the van, doesn't he? And he finally goes to his brother's house, and he's telling him that no one believes that I thought they wanted Santa, but no one wants. And he's like, "What did you do? I knew it was you. I knew what." And he was like, he's going mad at him, isn't he? And the kids are saying, "Don't it, Uncle Harry? Don't it?" And the wife's like, "Oh, leave him alone." And then he says to his brother that he blamed his brother for his trauma. If I remember. And his brother just flips and starts strangling him. It's like, "Oh, my wife, I'm protecting you."
And
he strangles him unconscious, and he puts him in his van, doesn't he? And
I mean, watching that bit, I thought, well, he can't be done. It's not over for him. Obviously, he pulls him into the van, and then obviously Harry does wake up again, and it was a funny punch, and Santa Claus is on the run again.
But the funny thing is he sits there, and it's a nice shot of his, and he's like this. The next thing, the eyes open, and you think, what's going through his thoughts then? And then he turns around and he sees his brother standing there, like, obviously, really, really riddled with anxiety. He's like, his brothers are more of a mess than he is. And next thing, he sees the fist come out and protects his brother. And then he spins off the drive, and wheel spins. And then the brother goes chasing him and goes chasing after the van. But before we talk about the great final scene, the brother goes chasing after him, and then you see the mob at the end of the street with the torches. They find him, and he goes skidding off in the van. But the brother falls down an embankment. Now, if you got a keen eye, the snow is just like white blankets.
It was,
And when the brother falls down, you can see him rip up one of the blankets, and I thought, oh,
yeah. That's the trouble. That's the trouble when you see a cleaned up version of this.
Oh,
you see it a lot more. And bearing in mind, sometimes even beyond that, I mean, that's just a Blu-ray. I mean, even with 4K, you get to see even more.
See, I think, Carlos, watching the VHS, you didn't see this because it was very blurry, it was very dark. The picture aspect, the ratio on the picture was cut to the VHS size, so you wouldn't see that really. You'd only see sort of this sort of thing, and the rest of the picture on Blu-ray and 4K now is all this. So you see like the blanket of the snow getting pulled up, and you see some of the comical things, which it's a bit like Santa Claus himself. He lifts the lid on the effects, doesn't it? It's sort of like sheds the light on the secret how they do the magic trick. But you see the brothers sitting there, and then describe the final scene, Carlos. I mean, because this is the cherry on top of the cake, isn't it?
Without giving it away, because obviously it's a big spoiler for the movie. It kind of leaves it in a way. I mean, the first time when I watched it, I was like, "Oh, okay, is that it?" Sort of. You could either sort of get that sort of gut reaction when you see it, or they do it in a way where Harry kind of gets his comeuppance, but in another way, he still thinks that he is Santa. And he's going to be taken out of that situation onto something else. That's without me giving it too much away. Because
he believes he's getting his great reward, doesn't he, for being good?
Yeah. That's without me giving away spoilers. Because I think when you watch this movie, obviously, going into this, anyone who's not seen this movie will love this movie. Loves the Christmas horror feel to it, but the ending is a big talking point, whether you like the movie or you don't. I'm sort of, my belief is that he got his comeuppance, but then he was thinking
that was his thoughts.
That was his thoughts. Yeah. When I
first watched that ending, Carlos, my initial reaction was one of what the hell, and then really, like you, is that oh, but back then it was a simpler time, so the effects were better back then. So I thought, and that must have inspired a certain scene for a certain time traveling series of movies with the thing. You know what I mean? But I was thinking at first when I first watched, what the fuck was this?
Yeah.
But though, for anybody who's not seen it, and you like the 1980 period, the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, with all the nostalgia. This has got it in bucket loads, hasn't it, Carlos?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think if you enjoy horror movies from the 80s, you're clearly going to like this. It doesn't matter if it's low budget or big budget. I think the 80s era for horror movies was a great era, one of the best. I think people would like it for that. The ending might disappoint people. Obviously, the ending, if it was made today, it would have been better made. But for that period, and it being a low budget horror movie, that's what they had. And I get the idea where they were trying to go with it.
Yeah, they utilized everything to the max what they had. They used everything, and the fact that the performances is so good, it doesn't matter that it's like on a shoestring budget. A lot of the great films have shoestring budgets. It's the performances and how they tell the story that really unpick these things. I mean, you can say this is like a throwaway Christmas slasher or a psychological, and you can say, but when it comes around to Christmas time, I've never really been a big lover of Christmas horror films.
Yeah, like myself.
But as I'm getting older, Carlos, and I'm sitting back and I'm remembering these things from back then, I'm appreciating them far more now than I ever did when I was watching them. And when it got banned, I was like, oh, maybe I need to rewatch that.
Yeah.
What did I miss the first time round to get it put on a banned list?
Yeah.
And it being put on Section 3 only heightened its notoriety. Most people wanted to see it then. So it had that's where the cult following come from in the years and the decades later. And like when you've got 88 films and Vinegar Syndrome and they're cleaning them up and the soundtrack and the picture and everything looks crystal clear.
Yeah.
You can see these things were made on a shoestring, but the performances, they're top notch.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the film, because it's him, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely worth checking out for sure. I mean, I think most people would prefer Bob Clark's Black Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night, which I do prefer those two movies over this one. It's not as polished as something like Krampus, which is a kind of studio Christmas horror movie. But this, for like what you mentioned, the performances, the idea, the 80s feel to it, it makes it worth checking out. I mean, I'd love to hear people's opinions, what they think of this movie and the ending as well. So, guys who watch, put that down in the comment section, what you actually think of the ending. Because it's very easy to sort of say, oh, well, that was a very good movie, but the ending was a bit pants.
Yeah.
But no, I get where they were going with it. I mean, it might not look like it was a planned ending, but it was a planned ending. It kind of just leaves you. It leaves it to you to decide what really happened to Harry.
What I think had going for this is the director written it and produced it. Louis Jackson did a lot. He had a lot of control of because sometimes you get the writers arguing the directors and you see what I mean? There's a lot of these feel like Don't Open Till Christmas started shooting in 1982, and you can see it's 1982, but it was released in nearly 1985, and it's marketed as a 1984 movie. But if you look at the film, you can see it's earlier 80s than 84, 85. But that's because there was infighting with the production. So, Louis Jackson had a hand on everything.
Yeah, he did.
Written, produced, directed. So he had sole creation. So that ending, he had that in mind. And I believe with the theme that it was with the mental illness, I believe that was his view as well. It was Harry's thoughts, what was happening. To us outside that bubble, he got his just comeuppance, you know what I mean? But it's nice to see the director going in with his character. If the director was sort of like champion his character right till the very, very end. You know what I mean? Where the director, sometimes they abandon the main character for the values and morals. But no, Louis Jackson stuck with him, didn't he?
I think it was a bold move. I mean, you could have just got the normal ending of him completely seeing and getting his comeuppance by the lynch mob. You could have quite easily got that, but that's too easy. So you've got something where you was not expecting that ending, and I dig that. That's something it was totally unexpected that the actual director stuck to his guns
He did.
and wanted to come up with a finale like that, and it's much talked about even today, 45 years later.
Honestly, I mean, I love yeah, I can watch that over and over again. It's hilarious, especially when it comes to now this time of year and all the Christmas, all the Hallmark Christmas movies come on with all the romance, and I just stick Christmas Eve on and laugh, and then I'll put obviously the classic Black Christmas on the original, and watch them sort of things. But this one, it's a notch. It's a really top notch film. If those who haven't seen it, I think me and Carlos both highly recommend this one. It's a good watch. It's a lot of humour. It's got some touch and go moments. But yeah, it's great for the festive season.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Carlos?
Oh, like I say, it's definitely worth. I mean, I had planned to revisit this one last year. I think the only Christmas horror movie I watched last year was Silent Night, Deadly Night. So Christmas Eve was normally one that I throw in the list to watch. Obviously, Gremlins is another one. It's a classic. That's a well-known one. Obviously, Black Christmas and Krampus. But this one doesn't really get a lot of love. But like I say, when you get these releases from these labels, 88 Films, Vinegar Syndrome, and obviously when you get a cover like that, it dangles the carrot to sort of think, well, what's that? For new sort of horror fans, it kind of makes you sort of think, well, I'll give that one a go. I mean, for myself, because the title grabbed me, and I thought, well, how come I had not seen this movie? Because this is a movie that always gets mentioned in the community, whether it's the UK or the American horror community. This one always gets talked about. So I mean, I was happy to purchase it. I mean, I think I've had it for about 3 years, and like I said, I don't normally get many blind buys, but this is a very good blind buy.
Oh, absolutely.
I really enjoy it. I mean, like I say, it's like I say, you can watch this on YouTube, but when you get this release, it's really, really cleaned up. Probably too cleaned up, but yeah, it's a really enjoyable.
It's well worth out shelling out a £10-12 to get it, isn't it? It's well worth spending that money on this cleaned up version. I mean, there is funny like we talked about with the effects and that, where you see the effects going on, but yeah, it is worth it. It is worth it. I mean, you can see it on YouTube for free. It's on Prime. It's on Prime for free as well, and that's the Vinegar Syndrome copy. And it just looks mint. Yeah, it looks the best it's ever gonna look, Carlos.
I mean, for horror fans who haven't seen it, it's got the recommendation from yourself and definitely Davey. So get watching Christmas Evil, and it's a 45th year anniversary, and the leading actor Brandon McGart, he's still around. He's in his early 90s.
Wow.
He's still alive and kicking.
He's got one more Christmas left in him, then, Carlos.
Well, maybe he might return back because
why not? Hey, with the way the slasher genre goes, and they bring back the original cast members, why not bring back the original Santa? Yeah,
why not? Why not?
Carlos, this has been a great episode. It's been a fun episode talking this with you.
Absolutely.
What have we got coming up, mate? Because we've got a couple more, haven't we, planned?
Obviously, we chose this one for the Christmas holiday sort of spirit.
Yeah.
No doubt you're going to upload this before Christmas, but
definitely,
we've got one for the new year, before New Year's Day, I say, and we're going to maybe Terror Train, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, which is a New Year's Eve horror movie.
Yes.
So that's what we've got coming up next. In more horror movie memories.
Oh, thanks, Carlos.
On the Forgotten Horror channel.
Expertly put, my friend. Yeah. So thanks everybody for watching us. Me and Carlos really appreciate it. If you've not subscribed to Carlos, go over to Eastwood for Life Fan. Check out his channel. He's Mr. Eastwood Fan for Life. Very, as you can see, very knowledgeable, not just of westerns but of horror as well. He's my horror hombre here, my co-host here. We're gonna just wish you all a safe and a happy Christmas. And we'll just see you before the new year. All right, Carlos?
Yeah, absolutely. Merry Christmas all, and don't eat too much and don't drink too much, and we'll come back for a New Year's Eve or New Year's Day episode for sure.
Thanks very much, everybody. Cheers, everybody.